You know, it's been quite the last few months for the folks over at TimCast, hasn't it? They've had multiple swattings, not only at their studio, but Tim has had them at his home address. They have had to bring out the bomb squad at least once that we know of. They've had to bring in security measures that Tim describes as extreme. It's been quite the ride. And now last night, midstream, literally while people are mid sentence, Tim pulls the plug on the TimCast live show, just stops it dead in its tracks. And if you're visually gifted watching me on YouTube or Rumble, you can see on your screen right now, I have the TimCast site pulled up. And he has a members only segment that's just simply titled TimCast IRL shut down midstream. Crew discusses why episode was removed and the inner workings of the company. So what I'm going to do in this video is get into what happened last night and why Tim made the decision that he made, in my opinion, and what I think it means for censorship as a whole when it comes to the internet, especially with the election coming. But my name is Dan. This is the Soule of Wisdom. If you haven't done so with this channel, please do take a moment to subscribe to us, hit the notification bell, and hit the like button on this video. And what's happening with Tim having to shut down his show last night, I'm going to speak to it more, but this idea, when I say please take a moment to like this channel, subscribe to this channel, the real reason for it is the censors are coming for us. They're coming for all of us if we don't completely line up with the viewpoints that they want to have and that they agree with. And the more and more we support each other, no matter how big or small we may be, the better off we're going to be, because we're going to be more unified in our fight. And if people drop off, you've got more people in your kitty that can provide you with information and have honest discussions about things. And I think that's the most important. So anyways, here's what happened last night on Tim's show. He had a guest on, and I'm not going to say exactly the words that were said, lest my channel become problematic for the censors, but suffice it to say that violence was alluded to, and I don't even think it was done so maliciously by the guest. That wasn't the impression that I got. I think it was just something that the guest was more saying off the cuff, but the words were clear, and it very easily could have gone bad for Tim. So he immediately pulled the plug on the live stream, and it was just done, and they weren't even that far into it. But in my opinion, the reason why Tim chose to do this, and I think he made the correct call, is that the language was such that if a bot grabbed it, which is what's happening on YouTube, is they have these censorship bots that go out there and look for keywords and stuff. But if a bot had grabbed a hold of that, I think it would have been enough for him to receive a strike. And at that point, he's off of YouTube for a week, and it costs him revenue, and it does damage to the channel. So I don't think he had any choice at that point but to go ahead, pull the plug, and delete the stream. Frankly, if I was in his position, I probably would have considered making the same choice. Now, it's unfortunate, and you can look at it and say, well, he shouldn't be on YouTube anyways. And why are you on YouTube, Dan? Well, I'm in a lot of places. So we're on Rumble, we're any place where you get your podcasts, and Tim's the same way with his stuff, just obviously on a lot larger scale, because he's been doing this a lot longer than I have, and he's built a little mini empire, and I'm happy for him. That's a good thing for all of us. But that empire, that little mini empire, is immediately put at risk, and he needs to be on YouTube to reach people. You know, the truth of it is, you don't want to cede ground, and Tim has said that himself, and I agree. You need to be where the discussions are being had, and it's unfortunate that the censorship is to the point where you have to guard your words on certain platforms. And on YouTube, you very much have to guard your words. Now, the trade-off is that we get to send our stuff out for free. I mean, I'm not paying per person that views this video when it's on YouTube, but if it were on other platforms and I had to pay for that bandwidth, that would cost me. So there's this compromise that has to happen, and it's unfortunate, but That's why Tim did what he did. If he didn't make that compromise and shut down that stream, he could have put the whole thing in jeopardy just based on some comments, a couple of small words from his guest, who, again, I don't think was trying to be malicious. I think they were just having a discussion and it came out. But gotta shut it down. And honestly, the words were such that I wouldn't even say them here because I don't want a bot picking it up either and misconstruing what was said. But that does say a lot, doesn't it, about the state of media and the state of social media and the censorship that goes on, is that we have to guard our words so carefully. And it's unfortunate that it couldn't have just been said that, hey, Tim coming in and saying, hey, you said these things, is that really what you meant? And give him the ability to walk it back or to add context to it or something like that to move the discussion along. Instead, it's so strict that just a couple of words, regardless of how they are taken and what they are meant to say, can be enough to nuke your channel. And I think this is going to get worse and worse as the election draws closer here this November, the midterms, because it happened 2 years ago. As the election drew closer and closer, YouTube and the other social media outlets started nuking people like crazy for any excuse they could find, especially if those people came from the right. The bottom line is Silicon Valley and the social media giants are all dominated by those with very left-leaning views. So if you are centrist like Tim, or you are right or center right, which is probably somewhere where I align, you're going to find it troublesome to get your voice out there, to be able to say things. And like I said, I think it's only going to get worse. But I think what we have to do about this is what I alluded to at the beginning of the video. I think we need to be sure that we are supporting those creators who want to have a conversation. And I say that because, I watch Tim regularly, but I'll be honest with you, I don't agree with much of what he has to say. But he's willing to have a discussion. He's willing to talk things through. He's not so dead set on a simple personal agenda, or he's not so aligned with one specific tribe that we can't talk about things. And that is the most important thing. That's what I try to do here. I'm open with the fact that I come at things with a more right-leaning view, but it's not that cookie cutter. It's not that cut and dry. I've said it on multiple videos, but if you talk to me about crime and punishment, for example, I don't align with the right for most of it. I just don't. I have different viewpoints, but in other things, I tend to be more right. But the bottom line is I want to have discussions. I want to flesh things out. I don't want it to be so cookie cutter that you're either with me or against me. We need to be able to talk. So I think it's important that when you find people like me or people like Tim or people like anybody, if they're willing to have a conversation, you need to be subscribing to their channel. You need to be watching their stuff. And I tended a while back to be very stingy with my subscribe button. And I don't know why. But I wouldn't subscribe to people. I've changed that around recently. I never subscribe through the Soule of Wisdom. I do all my subscriptions through my personal account. But if I hear somebody who's just being honest and just wanting to talk, they get a subscribe. And we all need to do the same. And the reason for this is we need to build communities of people who want to have discussions. Because YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and all the others are going to do everything they can to try to stop that. But if there's more and more of us that are connecting, that's going to be harder and harder for them to do. And then also, if you're a content creator, I think you need to be in more places than YouTube. We put all our stuff on Rumble as well. We put all our stuff on all the podcast platforms. We have our own website. We try to spread it out so that if we lose one, we still have other places where you can find us. And that's important as well if you're making content. But if you're not making content, you need to be subscribing to anybody that you run across who is open enough to have a conversation, because that's what they're trying to stop, is the conversation. And unfortunately, that's what Tim had to do. He had to stop the conversation midstream so that his greater conversation didn't get compromised in the long run. And those are the things that we face and that we have to battle. But that's what happened, and I think that's what it means, that we have to be mindful of what's said while still trying to get our thoughts out there. And that's what he's trying to do, and that's what we're all trying to do. But let me know what you think. Did Tim make the right choice by ending that stream, or do you think he should have taken the risk, let those words from that guest get out there, and see what happened? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Just do be respectful if you would be so kind. And again, as I've already said, if you haven't done so with this channel, please do hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, like this video, and do me a favor and share it on your social media with your friends. That is how we grow. We've grown decently in this past year since we've started. We'd like to grow more, and we could use your help. I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. Until the next time I see you, thank you for watching.